functionality.
I won't stray.
And we're all hot, and that's okay. Hey guys, it's Laurel, and it's that time of year again where we look back on what we've accomplished in 2025 and what we could work on and what we don't want to bring into 2026. I do this every year. Some years I have looked back on how successful I was, and most of the time we've been successful. But my 2025, I ended up looking back on that and realizing that I didn't move forward. I kind of just stayed stagnant this year. Some things I did, okay? I'm a Pilates princess now. We love Pilates. We be out here doing all that. I definitely make less kill yourself jokes, but I could still work on that. But there's definitely a lot that I said last year that I want to work on this year. So we're going to touch on that. Everybody say hi, YouTube. Yeah, we're live right now, and we're gonna talk about the things that we want to leave in 2025. There was some energy that we don't need to bring with us. I am not a big believer of New Year's resolutions. They just don't work for me, so that's why we do it this way. I also wrote this down on paper this year because part of the reason I think that I didn't stick with it very well last year is because I put it on my phone, and when you write things down, you remember it better. And like texting it, typing it, it doesn't do the same process in your brain. Feel free to make your own list at home while you're watching this, and I'd love to know what your list consists of. And before we get into this, I just want to remind all of you that you can touch back on this video, watch it any time of the year, and decide that you want to make changes and leave things behind. This does not have to be a New Year's thing. In 2025, I am leaving behind glass half empty attitude. In general this year, I really just want to prioritize flipping perspective to more positive things. I mean, 2025 was a bad year, not just for me personally, or you watching this at home, or you in chat. The world was on fire this year, and it was so scary. It was so easy to just think negatively and be like, that's not gonna happen, and that isn't gonna happen, and this will never get better, and this is a pattern that I will be a part of for the rest of my life, and this, that, and this, right? And my therapist thinks this too. In most situations, you can still turn things on their head and make something positive out of it. Like, no matter what, mistakes are a learning experience. People are learning experiences. I want to remind myself of those things instead of going worst case scenario every time something goes wrong. And in general, I just want to be better at romanticizing everything again, because that just makes me love life easier and better and quicker and hotter and faster and stronger. That was only the first one. We have to get through these, or else this video is going to be so long. Number 2, I am leaving behind procrastination of things that I want to do, because literally we're only promised today. So why am I waiting for things to be perfect? Why am I waiting to look a certain way to wear a certain thing? Why am I waiting for the right event to wear or do something with my hair or do a specific look? Why am I waiting to be better at editing before I'm putting out more content? Why am I waiting? I want to do these things. Why am I waiting? Why am I procrastinating? Is it fear? I don't know. But this year I want to chase fear, and I want to chase rejection, and I want to chase experience, because you can only change when you leave your comfort zone. Number 3, in 2025, I'm leaving behind being mean to myself, especially out loud. We can't always control what the inside voices say, but we can control what we say out loud for the most part, okay? And so that includes kill yourself jokes, because that was on my list last year, and I still do that sometimes, and I need to stop. I'm better than I was 2 years ago, but I need to stop. And I need to just be kinder to myself out loud, because our brain responds to repetition, not fact. So if you keep saying these things out loud, your brain is gonna believe it to be fact. So we're just gonna be nicer to ourselves. If you guys know, at least the people in chat right now, you guys know that we have a command that chat will call me out if I say something mean to myself as a reminder. And that has helped a little bit. At the end of the day, you have yourselves. You're always going to go to bed with yourselves. You're always going to wake up in the morning with yourselves. Stop being mean. You should be your best friend. Okay, this is a really big one, and it's going to be really, really difficult, but it is probably my number 1 priority on this list. I am leaving behind living in constant mess. I have not shown you guys the truth of my living situation. My home has been in a constant pigsty for 3 years. And I go through phases where I get like my main area clean, and that helps. But I don't think I'm going to be able to fully relax in my own space until it's dealt with. And I truly believe that happy starts and ends at home. And I have not been able to claw myself out of depression because my home has not felt safe because of the mess. I am working on it, but it's going to be a priority to the point that I'm going to put off going live, and I'm going to put off editing YouTube and posting until this shit is dealt with, because it's ruining my brain. This year, I am hoping to move. I want to leave this whole entire house behind because it is connected to really bad energy, and I don't want to be here anymore. If and when I do move, I'm decorating right away. No mess and no blank walls. If that means I have to get rid of half of my shit, so be it. Shit is just shit. Just saying that out loud, such a relief. Because I feel like I haven't been living in my truth, because you guys do not know how bad it is. I don't show you. Bro, when I invited my last ex over when we were together, I didn't let them go upstairs until one day he like begged me. He was like, please, can I see it? Can I see what the issue is? Can I see? And I was like, I started sobbing. I was like, you're gonna think I'm crazy. You're going to leave me. Bro broke up with me like 2 weeks later. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. All right, moving on. Ooh, this is a big in. And I don't know how we're gonna do this, but I'm putting it out there because I do think it's possible, because I haven't always been like this. I want to leave behind fear being my most driving emotion. I think that I have just lived in a constant state of fear of being misunderstood, fear of my past, fear of my mistakes, fear of doing things wrong, fear of how I'll be perceived, fear of losing people. All of it has stopped me from living my life. Like I said before, I just feel like I have to chase rejection in order to get past that. So I'm gonna try to do that. I'll be honest, I've said some of these things. I said some of these things last year, but this year I was so stagnant. I don't wanna be stagnant in 2025. I'm leaving behind being stagnant. My chest is getting tighter, but also I feel relief. Anyone else? How am I doing? This is a more serious one. I think in the past, like, things have been more chill and lighter, but like, no, I things need to change for me right now. Here's a lighter one, but I think it will help. I will be leaving behind going anywhere without a notepad or journal. In lieu of wanting to romanticize everything and be more present, I want to use screens less. That is also on this list. I've been putting my to-do lists on my phone. I've been putting my schedule on my phone. I have been putting my thoughts and feelings on my phone. At my core, I've been a journaling girly for most of my life, and I barely journaled in 2025. So we're bringing that back. Actually, when I was on my trip most recently, I finished the only journal that I finished in 2025, which is rare of me because I usually finish them a lot faster. Dementia runs in my family, and I need to start focusing on working my brain in that way as well. Okay, well, that wasn't very light, was it? It is light. It's in lieu of trying to romanticize everything. I want to journal everything. I want to write down how beautiful the sky is and how nice the breeze feels on my skin and how good the things around me smell. You know what I mean? Like, I want to write those things down, because how can you not love life when you're reminding yourself of the beautiful things around you? This one I talked about briefly on my Insta stories recently, and I think on stream, but it made the list. I want to leave behind forgetting my regulation exercises. Regulating my nervous system is so important because of my disability, because I am a highly sensitive person. I need to be prioritizing taps and breathing and stimming. Otherwise, I will get stuck with decision paralysis and stress and meltdowns. I had more meltdowns this year than I think I've ever had in my life, at least since I've known I was autistic. Focusing on my exercises, I think, will be beneficial to not just me, but everyone around me. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a good one that I think all of us need to work on. All of us people pleasers, right? Let's leave behind not treating our time and energy as sacred. Like, not everybody deserves our energy. Not everybody deserves our time. Not everyone is entitled to having access to me or you. But that also means energy and time that they don't even see or feel. I want to leave behind spending so much energy on trying to understand why people did something or trying to understand what they're thinking or how they're feeling. If they're not telling me and they're not somebody that I should be prioritizing this energy on, then I'm going to take care of myself until they tell me. I think because we live in this age of social media, we're so used to people constantly having access to us that it almost feels like guilt when we don't allow everybody access to us constantly. But like that is weighing on me. Like even just the constant DMs from people, I'm so grateful that people care, but I can't sit with this many unread DMs. It's actually every time I get on Discord and every time I get on Instagram and every time I look at my emails, I'm like, fuck, shoot. It's stressing me out instantly. I just have to start like opening things and not responding to them. Is that fucked? Are people doing that and I'm just one of the only people who doesn't? Like, or is this like a neurodivergent thing? Like, in 2026, I will no longer be screen. I will no longer be screen reliant. No more doom scrolling. We're leaving that in 2025. And this is not just screen, by the way. This is also sound reliant. I've said in the past that like, I think that it's important to surround yourself with good sounds, good music, good podcasts, because like that does affect your energy throughout the day and it does affect your brain and how it's wired. I'm not talking about listening to music and stuff like as a good vibe, like mood lifter. I am moreover talking about relying on screens heavily to distract and not be present, to not sit in uncomfortable, to not be bored. I think being bored is a luxury and it's peace and it's calm and it's beautiful and we should lean into it more. Being sad or feeling grief or feeling uncomfortable and upset, these feelings are part of life. We're like a bottle. We are all bottles of Coca-Cola. What are they called? Mentos? If you're constantly putting negative emotions into your Coca-Cola bottle and then closing the cap, it's going to blow up. We need to sit with uncomfortability. I need to be present more. I think it's affecting my memory. I think it's affecting my brain. And it's absolutely negatively affecting my mental health. And I get stuck in my couch. I get stuck doing nothing for hours. And I don't want that to be what my life is anymore. And romanticizing everything just kind of helps with being present. So a lot of these things do kind of go hand in hand. Here's one that I didn't know affects you negatively. But did you know that always being in a rush is bad for you? Like it's bad for your like cortisol and it's like bad for your like stress levels and it shortens your lifespan? Yeah. And I've literally been rushing for like 6 years. I feel like ever since I became a Twitch streamer, I have felt behind. No, it's like common knowledge, but when someone says it to me, like, yes, being in a constant state of panic is unhealthy. No, right, that makes sense. So like I don't always have to be in a rush. So I'm leaving behind rushing in general in 2025. That does mean I have to plan a little bit better. I have to give myself more time because I don't want to be late. I'm killing myself with how much I'm always running behind. And so I think the mentality that I need to develop is I'm already late, so what's another 10 minutes? And I don't want to be late to things. I hate being late to things, but this isn't just that. It's more just like, I always feel like I have to like do everything the fastest so that I can get it done quickly, so that I can move on to the next thing quickly because I have so many things I must do. And it's like, no, you don't. You can slow down and journal, and you can slow down and brew your coffee the longer way because it'll taste better. And you can spend more time on your art. You can spend more time on that edit. It doesn't have to be out today. I need to give my chance. I need to give my brain a chance to breathe. In 2025, I will be leaving behind relying on food delivery services. At the end of the day, I have a disability and depression, but I do think that I have relied on food delivery too much. And it's bad for my wallet, and it's bad for my mental health to not leave my house at all because food can just come to me. I'm not cooking anymore. I gotta cook. You have more control over what goes in your body when you cook it yourself, okay? And as a picky eater, that should matter. I haven't been cooking. I feel like I barely cooked in 2025. I want to spend less money this year on food delivery, and I want to get out of my house more often to get food, and I want to cook more. I won't be deleting the apps, but I have thought about limiting the money that I can spend in the apps. Let her cook, chat. The most money I've spent this year was not on travel, not on concerts, not on Disney World. It has been food delivery apps. This was a bad year. Let's scrap it and never think about it ever again. Let's leave 2025 and 2025. You know? I think so. This might be the only content one I have on here, and I'm kind of proud of myself for prioritizing mental health over content. In 2025, I am leaving behind prioritizing the content that will hypothetically perform well over the content I want to make. Like, just post, queen. Post what you want. Stop worrying, well, oh my God, I haven't posted a K-pop video in so long, but like my K-pop videos are why people follow me and blah, blah. Like, I get it. I get that I feel this guilt where I feel like I owe you guys things, but I can't let that feeling affect my mental health anymore. And I need to make art. And I know that content isn't always art, but art is always art when you're creating, right? Even when it's bad, it's still art. And reaction content, while I know you guys enjoy it, doesn't make me happy. Even though I enjoy the music and the things I'm watching. I do enjoy it, but editing that content is killing me slowly. I want to make content that feels like I'm making something. Okay, last but not least is actually something that I do think I'm pretty good at already, but like I want it to be something I'm always doing. In 2025, I'm leaving behind showing up empty-handed. In general, if you are going to a friend's house, you don't show up empty-handed. One of my closest and dearest friends, I love her to death. Every time she comes over to my house, even if it's not a party, bro, she brings like dinner. Like, not like a full meal, but she works at a grocery store. And so she'll bring like, you know, like a snack, like a frozen pizza and some lettuce and like a bottle of wine. And then now we don't have to worry about ordering something because like it's taken care of and now we can just yap for a few hours. I want to be better at being the friend who provides good vibes, good food, even if it's not a party. I just want to bring something to the table. I no longer want to show up empty-handed. That's just the kind of friend I want to be. I also wrote down things that cool girls do, and then I drew an arrow to that. I just think like cool girls like provide vibes, and that's what I want to be. And I feel like that's also like probably a thing that neurotypical people do, but I haven't thought of it. Like, I've always been told that you don't show up empty-handed to a party, but like maybe you should just never show up empty-handed. And also, it doesn't have to be something I spend money on, right? Like, I want to show up to the party with the board game, or I want to show up to my friend's house with a craft. I just want to show up with something that we can share together. It's an extra mile thing, exactly. I want to make the point to be more considerate. And I feel like neurotypical people don't have to make that note. I'm just not always thinking like that. I feel like people are going to judge me for that one. But I don't know. It's not second nature to me. But I would like it to be. Like, if I could show up with something I cooked, I think that's cute. That's the whole list, guys. I really want to know what you guys want to leave in 2025. I want to know if any of this resonated with you guys. I want to know how you're doing. Because 2025 was awful. And I really want all of us to manifest a better 2026. And I'm really fucking proud of you for still being here. Because goddamn, that year tested me. That's not funny. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope for a better 2026 for you and me and everyone. See you in 2026, skaters. We did it. We filmed a whole YouTube video on stream. 2 birds, 1 stone. We can listen to music again. Everybody unclench your buttholes. Wait,